Welcome to this week's Archer's Choice. And this week, well, someone told us to head west or go west, young man. And well, the young man went and took the old lady.
That's not even right. No, Scott and Angie from Table Mountain Outfitters invited me out, and I had to bring him with me, unfortunately, because he wouldn't let me leave the house by myself.
Excuse me, it was the Tenzing Sweepstakes winners, and they wanted us both.
No, I don't think that's what happened. But we had a great time down there, and actually, lucky logo.
Lucky logo, baby.
Cabela's. So watch for the Cabela's logo, and at the end of the show, we'll tell you what to do with that.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Antelope, mule deer, lots of fun.
Action,
lots of laughter, lots of good hunting.
I mean, that camp was full of just people laughing.
It was. So let's just get going, shall we?
Yeah, let's not waste any time. Right. Scott and Angie, look out. Here we come.
Ralph and Vicki get into camp, and everybody's excited to see them, including me, or I should say especially me. It's been a while since I got to see Vicki. Vicki came out a couple years back and took a really nice antelope with us. And ever since that moment that she was here, it felt like I found that other part of me, that other sister.
I have a request too. Last time when I was out here, Kenneth and I, we were ready to go for all day, and it was gonna be like 98 degrees the whole day, and we were ready, and we were done at 10. Can we put in a request for that again tomorrow?
Yeah, let's try.
Okay.
Could have just asked.
You know, the big thing you got to remember is, and I think the connection with all of us together, Scott and Angie are a family. They have children. They not only are they involved in the industry, you know, outfitting and everything. They feel the same pains that we feel.
They do. I mean,
you've got to say goodbye to the kids. You've got to.
That's right.
You're going to miss so much.
I think you're right. I think the connection that we have with Scott and Angie is that we get it. We understand that. I mean, they work hard from before sunup to way after dark, you know, making sure all the critters are being taken care of, all their hunters are doing well, and then they have to find the time for the family, because obviously that's the most important thing for them. And I mean, we feel it. We understand 100%, and they do a great balanced job of it.
Bye. It was interesting to have Ralph and Vicki in at the same time. You know, what you see on TV with them is what you get when they're here in camp with you. It is nonstop laughter, and it's fun, and no matter what you're doing, it's always an adventure.
Good morning, and away we go.
You can come with us.
Oh, are you finally ready? I hear you're dropping her off first.
Yes.
Nice.
I am.
So let's see how this is, Jack. Can I carry your coffee or anything, Angie?
Well, we're gonna drop Vicki off first at a blind.
Oh, that figures.
And then we're gonna take somebody else to their blind. And then we'll take Ralph to his blind.
Wait a minute. You're putting Vicki back where she was yesterday?
Yeah.
Woo, woo! This is perfect. We get shade in the afternoon.
Wait a minute.
We get see critters. No, we'll be tagged out before the afternoon, okay? Let's tag out before the afternoon.
Yeah.
Whoa! How does this happen? Unbelievable!
Gotta take care of my girl.
Thank you, my friend.
All right, good luck. Oh, relax.
We just got Vicki set up, and now it's back to her.
The first morning out, we're sitting in ground blinds, and you know, it's supposed to be like 90 degrees outside, and we're ready to sweat our butts off and the whole 9 yards. And
Wait, stop. First off, we weren't ready to sweat our butts off. We were sweating our butts off. There's something about going in a ground blind,
sweating,
sitting there for 14 hours, waiting for something to come drink.
Yeah.
In 95 degree weather, probably with at least 100 degree heat index.
Bring a thermometer with us so I could find out exactly how hot it is in this blind, except for that we forgot to stop at the store and buy books and candy corn and a thermometer. We forgot it all. Everything. But I do have 4 frozen bottles of water, 4 water bottles, PB&J sandwiches, and a whole bunch of other junk food in our cooler so we can survive the day. It was like 52 or 54 degrees this morning when we came out, but the sun is just now up in the sky. It's gonna get hot fast, I'm sure. I'm sure this vest is gonna come off soon.
You know, when we arrived out here for the initial start of the season, we had a lot of rain. So Scott and I were a little bit disappointed with how the water situation was, a little bit worried. The initial antelope hunt started out okay, and the weather started to heat up, and so by the time we went into the combo hunts with Ralph and Vicki out here, we actually had pretty hot weather, and the water holes were starting to dry up and things were happening.
The first morning in the ground blind, we're sitting there and Kenneth is filming and he goes, "Vic, there's an antelope." And we watch this beautiful antelope buck come walking in the whole way, makes a scrape, the whole 9 yards, and he's coming in, and I've got my bow and I'm ready. And I mean, it's early, it's like 10:30 in the morning. I'm going, this is nice.
10:30.
10:30 in the morning. And he comes in, and as he's coming in, and I'm getting ready to draw back, he's 5 yards from the water hole. All of a sudden, a mule deer buck walks in.
Vicki had action right from the very beginning. She decides that she's gonna take the mule deer, so she ends up drawing back.
I turned my chair, and I should have been a little more aware of it, but I turned my chair and it goes, and both of them busted, and I was just like, who would have thought I would have had 2 different bucks, both tags, standing here at like 15 yards from me.
Meanwhile, back at the sun-soaked pasture of Josh and Ralph, we're sitting there going, and well, we just got in our blind about 30 minutes ago. At first light, we could see there was a nice 4x4 buck and some does up on that horizon. Just a matter now of sitting and waiting. That's what you're doing on these type of hunts. I hope I don't go batty. This stuff drives me nuts, man. We're sitting there. Thank goodness we had our a fan. You know what I mean? Because you're sitting there and you put the fan on and you go, oh. Can you hear that? Water's just coming out of the pipe. Just what I need. I'm going to listen to that and I'm going to have to pee. And Josh looks at me and he goes, so this is antelope hunting, huh? And he's got this big grin on his mouth, grin on his face. And about 5 hours later, I looked at him, and he's like this. I said, hey, buddy, this is antelope hunting.
Well, but then after they ran off, and I thought, oh, man, this is going to stink. Well, not much longer. All of a sudden, an antelope buck came in. I hit him hard, and we watched him go down, and Angie was actually, it's kind of cool because Angie and what they do is when the guides take hunters out to blinds, they actually go around and they glass them from different angles and see what kind of animals are in a different pass.
Right. That's what's really cool.
Right.
It's you're not there for the whole day because, you know,
they
give you the orange flag.
It's 11, and Angie's watching up above. She must be glassing because she just texts me and it says, "You got him."
Yes. Our fun is when we can catch that moment when we see an animal coming in and get to watch them go in and actually see the hunter shoot, and it all unfold in front of us.
I got to watch him on the hill. Thank you, Angie. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun.
You guys see like action by action out there. The little guy come in, and then the other two were good. There's a small one came in and drank, and he stood there the whole time. I could have taken him a gazillion times. And then the middle guy, he walked straight by. And then the third guy come by and he drank, but he was straight at me. So I drew my bow back while his head was down because I figured the little guy's gonna make him move. And he finally stopped and he walked and he goes straight, almost straight away from me. I'm like, it's too steep, I can't shoot it. And then he goes, he's like this far away from me, and all of a sudden he goes,
just shoot me here.
I'm like, okay, poof. And my arrow, I'm guessing my arrow's probably right over there somewhere. We should look for the arrow so that it doesn't cause any trouble, but he's right there.
I saw him. That looks awesome.
That's what we were looking for.
Yep.
So I found my arrow.
Very cool.
Huh?
Yeah.
Isn't he pretty?
Tall and cute. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at how tall he is.
He's beautiful, isn't he?
Uh-huh.
Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful antelope buck. First morning out here, Table Mountain.
He's cool.
He is beautiful. Look at him. He's pretty.
Okay, so what I have to do now, though, Ralph
need
just
my-
texted and he asked me,
If I was messing with him?
yeah. He goes, did she see anything since
I texted
earlier?
him and I told him. I texted him. I said, go down, shot like 15 yards, and it's down at like 60. Thank you, Ange. Thank you.
Meanwhile, we're sitting there going, So Ralph's again, as usual, thrown into the sun-soaked pasture of Wyoming. No cover, nothing. We sit in a ground blind, and thank goodness we weren't turkey hunting, because turkeys would be walking by laughing at us, because we would be the ones being deep fried. So let's be clear, your first day, you're done at
My antelope
10:30.
tag. My antelope tag is done. No, it was maybe 11.
11. Meanwhile, back at the sun-soaked pasture. Yeah, when you sit in these blinds for hours, things just happen. Do you know who I am? I'm Vicki Ciancerulo's husband. But anyways, to make a long story short, finally about 6:15, 6:30, we see an antelope buck up on the ridge. Mm-hmm. Then he disappears, and then now he's actually closer. He's on this ridge. So I told Josh, he's committed. He's coming in. Sure enough, he comes over this point and he starts trotting in.
Yeah.
Well, earlier we had that doe mule deer with the fawn.
Right.
And she actually kicked the sheep mineral container into the water hole.
So now it's floating. That's
it's
not
floating,
a good thing.
It's moving, and I'm like, oh, Josh, this could hurt us. That bucket to float in the water, so we could be in a little trouble if an antelope comes through, sees that bucket moving, it ain't coming in here. Well, sure enough, antelope takes his time, finally comes. He comes right up over that levee. He sees this little black bucket floating and he leaves. I look at Josh. Josh looks at me, and we're like, can we talk to Scott? Scott will take care of us. Because Angie and Vicki, they're inseparable. Let's just throw Ralph and Josh in a sun-soaked pasture. Yeah, we got it. Thank you. Me and Josh, baby, we're rocking. It's amazing because you have all these deer and you're thinking antelope.
Right.
And I mean, it's prime time. You are prime time, and all these deer are popping out of this sage, and they just keep coming. And we have the small, really nice, young buck, and we're watching him. He comes in, and I mean, things are going good. And earlier we had that doe and fawn come in and move that bucket, and it went into the pond, and it's floating. And I said, oh man, if an antelope comes in, it's gonna spook him. Well, it sure spooked the antelope buck, and it started floating again, and it spooked that buck, that muley buck that was in the water. He ran. They calmed down, but it's really created a little bit of havoc here.
I think Ralph, when I told him that I was going to put him back in a blind, I think he was a little nervous because it was a long day before that mule deer came in.
And all of a sudden we spot a lone deer coming straight at us.
Right.
And he's a couple hundred yards out, and I put up my binoculars, and I'm
see
looking.
heat waves?
Yeah. And I'm looking, and I'm going, ooh, Josh, that's a nice buck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I said, he only looks like a 2-point, but he's super wide, and he's in velvet, and he's the biggest 2-point, I've ever had. And I'm thinking, I ain't never shot a mule deer at a water hole. Well, when those thoughts go in your mind, in
It's
my
done.
mind, yeah, there's a beam flying.
Ralph, when we found out that we're coming to Table Mountain, and it was a combo hunt. It was an antelope mule deer hunt. And you had asked me, you said, Vic, you go, well, the mule deer, do we spot and stalk? Do we water hole? Because you're thinking water hole, muleys aren't gonna come to the water holes.
No,
like, not like you hunt antelope.
Was I wrong?
Yeah.
I was wrong. It's prime time. And all these deer are popping out of this sage, and all of a sudden we spot a lone deer. We got a muley coming in, right straight at 12 o'clock. He's a shooter. If your heart ain't coming out of your chest when you watch an animal like that coming all the way into you. Oh, baby. Josh, I love this. Thank you, Lord. Josh and I are in here. We had all these muleys come in and a little 2-point, and then I saw a good wide, it looked like a 2-by, a 3-point, he had a little eye guard, but a beautiful, nice frame muley. He comes all the way in and he comes right here. He starts to walk to the left. I moved in on him and just spitfired him, baby. I'm so excited. My thumbs are shaking. I text Angie.
Yeah.
I said, hey, Buck, we got a muley down.
Yeah.
And I mean, it wasn't no time. She's like the NASCAR of the Wyoming flats.
So I took off and found Ralph waiting in the blind patiently for me to get there before he went out and tracked anything.
All right, all these years, everybody hugs my wife. This is so awesome. I get a hug by a pretty woman.
Good job!
It's a beautiful looking arrow.
It is.
Beaming, baby. I see him. I see him. Yeah, baby. Look at that deer.
Isn't he cool? Look how neat that is.
Yep.
But he's still in velvet too.
Table Mountain, Scott and Angie, you can't ask for nothing better. First day out, Vicki shot her pronghorn, and I shot my mule deer. Now she'll be hunting muleys, and I'll be hunting pronghorns. And it was really cool. I got a hug by a beautiful woman. I'm gonna grab another one. Thank you, Angie. But lo and behold, I mean, here it is. We got a muley buck down, a great two.
He's a beautiful
muley. He's a 2x2
with eye guards.
With eye guards
Right.
in velvet. I dig it. He's going on the wall and in the freezer. That was pretty cool. You know what I mean? For you to have an antelope your first day.
I know.
For me to have a mule deer. And that muley, I was not letting him go.
No.
That was the widest.
He was a pretty cool mule deer.
He was
And
really cool.
You know what? I was pretty excited because where my Mara step was set up at, I didn't have to worry much because there's this big water tank next to me and it kept me in shade for most of the day.
Yeah, and Josh and I are sitting out there baking.
Do you know why? Do you know why? Do you know why? It's because Scott and Angie like me better. This week's lucky logo was Cabela's. If you happen to see the Cabela's logo, you need to log on to archerschoice.com. Fill out some information, and I forgot to click on the lucky logo button because you distracted me. Someone's gonna win some great stuff from Cabela's as well as some other manufacturers. Next week, part 2, Table Mountain Outfitters.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll put me in a shaded Ameristep ground blind.
No, I don't think so, but I think part 2, maybe I'm not in a ground blind. Just saying. Just saying. Hey, thanks for watching this week's Archer's Choice. We'll see you next week. Same time.
Same channel.
Right here on the Archer's Choice. Thank
Scott
you,
and
Dan.
Angie, I ain't feeling the love here.
Thank
not
you,
at all.
Scott and Angie.